This is the new McLaren 750S, a brand new latest generation McLaren to come out from the factory in Woking. I can't believe we're getting the opportunity today to drive and experience what it's like here in Southern California. We're pretty close to the coastline. Today, I'm going to give you a real world driving review of everyday city life. Obviously, you can't take this to the racetrack every single day, so I want to see if it's a livable, proper super car. Yes, we know it can go fast. Check out our full review in the mountain ranges on top of the screen right now. Today, I want to find out how it comes together as an overall package that costs $400,000. Prices tested is $420,000. This vehicle has a 4-liter twin turbocharged V8 that produces 740 horsepower and 590 pound-feet of torque. Obviously, looking to the very rear, this whole rear end has been redesigned. You have tons of these exit vents all over where the rear deck would be. This is to give you more cooling for the 740 horsepower V8. When you add 30 horsepower and 20 more pound-feet of torque, heat goes up. They need to maximize cooling so you can actually utilize all that power on the racetrack. This rear wing is straight off the 765LT. It's significantly bigger than the 720S, and it's actually 3.5 pounds lighter because it is carbon fiber. There's actually one compromise. It's right here where the center back part of the wing goes and bends in. This is to give you rear end visibility. I'm a big fan of that exhaust system, and it should give us the best sounding 700 series McLaren yet. At least that's what I understood from talking to the engineers. This whole new rear bumper has been designed to pull out airflow, turbulent air out of those rear wheel arches. That's why you have this exit vent down below. The rear diffuser is a carryover from the 720S. However, if you can see it, you have a brand new gearbox out back. This gearbox is from the 765LT, giving you a shorter final drive ratio. I'm a big fan of the side view of the 750S because this car is a mid-engine supercar where you can't see a massive intake. That's right, if I walk all the way up, you can finally see the intake right here in the middle if I bend in. This is where the door handle is, where I can hit the button, open it up. It's right here. Then I can pull up. It's really cool. A reason why the mirror is so far out is because they're trying to get as much airflow to be pulled directly down into that high temp radiator. So if I walk to the sides, there's two other big design changes you'll find with the 750S, the visual appeal of it. Down below, there's a new intake sill right here that pulls air to cool the vehicle. Then you have all new Vortex wheels. These are the lightest weight wheels ever fitted on a production series McLaren. The lightest spec ones are the turbine wheels, and they save 30 pounds of unsprung weight. You do get the carbon fiber fenders from the 765LT on the 750S. These are carbon fiber, and you have an option where you can get the blades, the louvers, to be exposed. This saves weight, and it pulls out all the turbulent airflow from this front wheel section, because when you're driving fast on track, a lot of air builds up very fast, and it can lift up the front end of the vehicle. Also, fundamentally, from the front end of the vehicle, they have tried to enhance the balance, meaning you have a longer front splitter. If I look closely, the lower black tip is actually extended further out than the midsection. That's a new change for a 700 series McLaren. Also, new intakes are formed to feed air to those low temp radiators. One final thing I want to point out, you can actually get paint color body match for the eye sockets where the recessed headlights are. Anyways, let's get inside this supercar. 0 to 60s in 2.7 seconds, goes to 0 to 124 miles an hour in 7.3 seconds, just 0.1 second off of the 750S Coupe. The Spider gives you a retractable hardtop that folds down in just 11 seconds, and it gives you an upper carbon fiber structure to give you rollover protection. It adds 108 pounds to the curb weight, making this a 3,170 pound supercar. Let's start it up. Wow. You have a brand new interior for the 750S with a new binnacle, which is a display attached to the steering column. So if I move the steering column forward, down, or up, it's actually attached, so my view with the steering wheel to the display does not get obstructed. It's a very nice feature. This is straight off the McLaren Artura and the Elva, where you can change your powertrain and handling components of the vehicle at your fingertips. So by pushing up, I can go into sport powertrain, giving me more aggressive shifts, and it'll hold me higher in the RPM. Then track mode gives me the smoothest and fastest gear changes. It also changes the display. Handling will change the dampers for the hydraulic link suspension to give us less roll, more supple ride for the street versus more compression for the track. It is ready to attack anything you want. Also on the left side, the center button is for electronic stability control. If I hit it one time, it goes into dynamic, which lets us use more of the power without it cutting power. And if I hold it, it completely turns off and it asks me, do I want to confirm? Yes, turn all the way off. This is also how you turn on burnout mode, but I'll leave it off for now. See on the right side, it just said I can turn on variable drift control now because I turned off traction control. So by hitting OK, I can choose the angle of slip for the track. We're not going to be doing this on the street, obviously, but it'll use the stability control systems and the traction control system to hold the car sideways for us for an angle. Very nice. Let's turn back on traction control. Let's stay in comfort for now. This is a brand new center display and it gives you a ton of new HD features. You have ambient lighting, variable drift control, a Bowers & Wilkins sound system all around us. Let's go ahead and put in drive. My favorite button down below is the Kiwi, which is your driver programmable saved mode. I've already enabled track and track with the arrow turned on. So I'm gonna hit the button one time and watch that rear wing shoot up. Do you see that? Oh, that was cool. Yes, you have enough room for a water bottle right here. You have two cup holders, one right next to you and one underneath the infotainment system. It just fits a water bottle. I wouldn't dare put in a big gulp. I don't think that would work. Check out this Easter egg. Do you see this logo right here where you spin the volume controls? That is of the MTC, where they build these vehicles and designed them alongside Formula One cars. So one side is a little lake, the other side is the actual building. I visited there recently and during the summer. I was blown away. I love that Easter egg. If you didn't know, now you know. Real quickly, let me demonstrate the top. Let's see how long it takes to lift up the top, shall we? Just 11 seconds it takes to raise the top on the 750S, and you can choose to get a electrochromatic roof, which means if I hit this button right here, it'll change the intensity of the pulse. So it's either dark and dim, so you can try to hide away the sunlight, or you can hit it again and you can bring in the sunlight directly into the cabin. Plus, with this left switch, I can raise and lower a rear window. So I can be driving, having all the windows up on the sides, and then hear the exhaust directly through the back of my headrest. Let's go ahead and lower the top and get a feel for it out here. This being an S designated series, it's not trying to be the most raw street car possible, meaning it should have a much smoother ride quality on the street than the LTs for normal city driving, because again, it's trying to be compliant. However, the team made it very clear they wanted to build a dynamic bandwidth where they can be as comfortable as possible, but then turn the vehicle into an absolute track monster. When I turn everything into track, it'll change its personality completely with the suspension, the throttle response, where it's holding me in the RPM. It is pretty impressive driving this thing through the canyons. One big feature that you're gonna love for the street is that you have a brand new front lift system that's debuting on this car, where you have a dedicated button on the far left. If I hit it one time, it takes just 4 seconds to raise the front end. You don't have to worry about bottoming it out. On previous McLarens, it takes upwards of 9, close to, I think, 10 seconds to raise the front lift. So it's night and day faster than the previous McLarens, and even lowering is just as fast. So if you are a fan of having the latest tech, this not only has the newest infotainment systems, newest screens, it has the best sound systems yet, and the best vehicle lift, which is critical for an expensive supercar like this. If you buy this and you have a carbon fiber front splitter, come on, regardless, this is a almost $500,000 car. You don't want to bottom it out. Oh, do you hear that? It feels much higher pitched in the RPM, and it shifts very fast for being in comfort. It gives us the pops on all those up changes. That is really cool. Let's go ahead and drive next to, I believe there's a nice old town type scenery in front of us. Let's go ahead and drive through there and see if we can turn any heads. Right now I have the wing raised, but if I want, I can relax the vehicle, get the best fuel economy possible by hitting the arrow button, and it'll lower that rear wing. Do you see that? And then in track mode, it'll actively raise and lower depending on where you are to give you the DRS effect that you see in Formula One. This is where the technology comes from. I cannot get over this steering feel. It feels so good. If you don't know what I'm talking about, McLaren's use an electro-hydraulic steering rack. That means you have the most mechanically connected feeling steering column on the market because there's actual substance that you're dealing with. Versus an electronic steering rack, come on, it's the same thing as what you see in a video game where you can buy a electric Thrustmaster or whatever they call those steering wheels, plug it into your PC or Xbox and play Forza. Yeah, you can feel stuff, but it's artificial. Now imagine if you can actually really feel exactly what those front tires are doing, where when you get into a corner, the weighting will change perfectly for any slip that happens and any load. This is the steering column that you want in every single supercar, sports car in the market. I still think McLaren is the king of the steering feel. That translates so much to driver confidence and the feel of the track. Even on the street, I just feel like I'm connected to the car on the road. Visibility is perfect around me right now because we have the amazing supercar cabin of McLaren's where you don't have a long hood that's raised, it's down low, so I just see straight up the road, the steering, dashboard, and then where the leather starts all around. Even to my left and right, oh, pause that thought. Auto start and stop is enabled apparently. So that means if you want to save gas, I guess you can leave it on like that, but I'm not a fan of that. I like having the engine rumble. When you're paying $500,000 for this car, you want to hear the engine. Another big change now for the 750S versus previous McLaren's is that the reverse, the side mirror is fully wrapped in the glass. There's no big plastic bezel that is housing the glass. It makes it feel modern and not cheap. I can't find any shortcomings anywhere in its interior where it feels cheap, thankfully. Sometimes you'll find those little secrets that they infuse to save production costs, where it's easier to install because everything looks like a Lego set. They snapped on the door. I'm not gonna name names, but I have a few cars like that. This doesn't have that. All the panels, I'm looking at them and I don't even know how they could install them. What is the step 1, 2, 3, 4 for the Lego project? I can't tell. Versus other cars, I can tell that they Legoed together the doors and dashboards. I'm getting a bit off topic. What I'm trying to get at is this just feels polished. Another thing I'm noticing is that driving the 600 LT I own versus this, there's not as many vibrations. It's not shaking. It is very smooth. And the reason why is because I mentioned a word dynamic bandwidth earlier. The team wanted to focus on that for this vehicle, meaning the engine has new chassis mounts where when you're driving comfortably like this and slow, it's very supple. It's not beating you up. It's not vibrating like a race car. But then if I turn in sport mode, here we go, sport powertrain, sport handling, and I start driving it, I feel more of the vibration. So imagine having the best of both worlds where you want the vibrations from your race car, your McLaren Formula One team derived street legal vehicle. Then if you want to relax in the street though, leave it in comfort mode and drive smoothly, you won't feel anything. Well, you'll feel a little bit, but it's nowhere near will you be in track mode driving hard. So that is a cool feature, so you can have vibrations if you want. Wow, it sounds really high pitch. It's incredible being in here looking around. As who's got a car like this on the street? It's a piece of art. However, I prefer when the wing is up. So watch this. Ready? 3, 2, 1, arrow! That right there, my friends, that is addicting. That is extremely addicting. Then when I'm driving and if I want to lower the drag, just hit the button again, it'll lower, or I can let the vehicle do it itself. If you're wondering how do you save modes with the Kiwi button, just hit it one time, and that's how you get into the mode. And if you want to save, let's say, sport handling alongside track mode powertrain, which gives you the inertia push shift, the most seamless, fastest gear change. I've chosen my settings now. I just click and hold the Kiwi. It's so elegant. It's so cool driving this through an old town like this. Let's get on the highway. Let's get next to the mall. Let's continue enjoying an everyday life. So yeah, for these scenarios, you can just pop back into comfort mode and relax, enjoy everyday life. in your elegant supercar that can still get 20 miles per gallon if you don't shift manually. Yes, it's economically friendly, but I don't think that's why you buy one of these vehicles. Altogether, it feels very livable. I feel like this is the first McLaren that I've been in. I'm going to say it. I'm going to fully say it. That is a fully polished out, well-built vehicle. Meaning, okay, just bear with me. Everything feels so well put together. It feels like a car. A supercar usually doesn't feel like a car. This feels like the most well-built McLaren I've ever been in. It just does. Even going to the comments of rattles and something shaking loose, everything feels so well built in here. It feels sturdy. It feels bulletproof. That's the word I'm looking for. When a car gets to give me the impression that they're all around well-built vehicle, they feel bulletproof. And that's what this feels like to me. It feels like it wants to change gears, go to red line like that for downshifts, and then relax at the same time. I feel like I can't stump it. I feel like I can't do anything that makes it mad, makes it upset, or will hurt it. Every button, everything, every inch. If I try to mess around with stuff, maybe that shakes more than anything else. But literally, the build quality, just trying to go around and find anything that can shake. Another reason why they put on the binnacle is because there's less vibrations and shakes that happen now, because a foldable display in the 720 and 765 contributes to rattles. And this, since it's fixed, it's another thing that can't go wrong. It's so high pitched! Hear the pop? Wow! Whoa! As the backfire pops. Wow! This thing's incredible! Every time I downshift in track mode, it gives me that pop backfire. Wow! How does it do it? Did it again! Did it again! Whoa! I only have the standard P0s on too, and it just feels... How does it do that? Whoa! Oh my gosh! Guys, I'm blown away. This car is incredible. It feels exactly the same speed as the 765 LT, but it's like polished. It's like 2.0 almost. It doesn't have all the side skirts and the extra raw trackness, I guess you can say, with getting a root scoop. That's only available on the 765 LT. And then having no carpet is a 765 LT only option. This though, this feels like something I want to drive every day, which is weird to say for a McLaren. I don't like the comfort seats. I like track seats because I move around. I think they're not the most comfortable. I think the Senate seats are the most comfortable, but I'm a smaller guy. Also, I wish I could pull out all the carpet, get like the LT model, but hey, that's a different series vehicle. And finally, maybe if you can get this in carbon fiber, that would be cool. Other than that, I really can't find another complaint. Oh, last complaint. When I let off on the brake, it rolls forward. I like when cars stay still. The LTs have it where you let off on the brake, it won't move. You have to intentionally hit the gas to let it move. Let's calm it down now, go in comfort mode, and just wrap up my final thoughts with the vehicle. Going automatic, it should shift low in the RPM, calm down. It's just livable, guys. It feels lightweight, most importantly. Every car is getting so heavy nowadays. They weigh 4,000 pounds. This is like 1,000 pounds lighter almost in a Revuelto. And it's got 740 horsepower. I have no clue what to put down in the dyno. These cars usually put down great numbers because they lack a lot of drivetrain loss, or they just make more power than advertised. I don't know. Actually, another complaint I have, I wish it was cheaper. I wish everything was cheaper. I still think it's worth the money if you had to buy it, because there's nothing like this that's this fast and this balanced. 296 is going to give you a different scenario where you have all the hybrid tech. This doesn't have it. So you know when you're working on it and you go to the track, you don't need to run in sprint mode. the max race mode with the battery and get an X amount of laps at full throttle versus not. What I'm trying to say is that in the hybrid cars, they have these modes called qualifying mode, where to get full power, you can only have it for a certain amount of laps because the battery will get drained. And then you can have a medium setting of power. This doesn't need to worry about that. This has full power all the time. Just put gas in it. If I run low on gas, just go to the gas station. Simple as that. I don't have to worry about it. There's less that can go wrong with this car, which makes it feel more durable. Like I can go places with it. I can run it hard. I'm not saying anything bad about the 296 GTB Ferrari. It's a great car, don't get me wrong. But this has got something that car doesn't have, where I can run it at full power all the time by just putting in gas, not worrying about electricity. Okay guys, I'm gonna go back to a saying that was said by Carroll Shelby back in the day. The next car is the best car. I feel like I get inside these McLarens and I go, wow, this is the best one yet. This is the best one yet. It's the most hilarious thing ever, because it's kind of obvious at times how good they get, but I think this is the best one yet. I do. I get why the lead engineer, I think his name's Sandy, I believe. I met him in England. It was very cool talking with him, but I get why he said this is his favorite one to drive, or the most fun one he's driven, because it's got all the elements that you want from every model blended together. It's got the heart and soul, the ethos, the thrill of the LTs. Then it's just got the build of a serious McLaren, where it's not like gonna fall apart. It feels like there's no rattles, and it's so well put together. And I'm not saying build quality is bad with McLaren. I've had no issues with my car, but I can tell that there's more vibrations in mine than this. And this is nice, having it just come together like this. How well it's built, the technology now. Raise the lift right now. Boom, simple as that, lower it. For those of you who have ever got into an LT McLaren or too much of a track-focused car and found yourself going, I love the speed and the thrill and the feedback, but it might be a little bit too much, and you want it to be more, let's say, polished, this is that. This is that. It just got everything. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. It really has helped me out, and subscribe for much more great content coming out yet. If this is the future for McLaren, I cannot wait to see what's coming out after this and the car after and after. It's looking good. It's looking real good. Also, when you subscribe to the notification bell, hit the all button to get all the uploads, the notifications for them on the channel. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see all of you in the next episode.